Good day everyone. Well, today I'm making a video I've been wanting to make for like a year and a bit now and just haven't got time, but today is the day. So if you can tell, we have a little pond behind us here, or a fairly large pond. Spring fed, it stays nice and full for the whole summer. And I'm going to walk you through my irrigation system today and how I set it up and what I would do differently if I was to do it again. So I guess first things first is I have this 1-inch Power Fist water pump. I used to use this for my sap, and then I used this for my irrigation last summer and bought a new pump for the sap. And she's a beast. It starts like second pull every time for the most part. And yeah, pulls a lot of water. So like I said, it's a 1-inch water pump. What I would have done if I wasn't so cheap, I would have bought a 2-inch pump so I can pump more water up at one time, and I'll show you why once we get up there. But what happens is I've got a foot valve on the end of a pipe there, another 1-inch pipe, and I've got a floater on there because it's pretty shallow there, so I don't want it sinking into the water and sucking up mud. So it works well. So what happens is it pulls water up to here, and then I've got my 1-inch pump coming off, and then it's buried 200 feet up to garden there, which we'll get up to in a minute. What I did was I did 1-inch line, then about 10 feet out into the ground I put a 3-inch quarter line, and my theory was that was going to be a bit more pressurized, I had more push at the end, but I probably should have left a 1-inch pump or 1-inch line all the way to the top, so I had more water going to the top and split it at the very end. So what we'll do, we'll start the pump now because I need to do some irrigating, and then we'll show you what it looks like at the top there. So it's so good to start. So it's super easy to start. You just hit the choke, turn it on, you pull it. 1, 2 pulls. Okay, so I've got the pump going there. Like I said, I need to do some irrigating right now. It's pretty dry today. And I've got some fall crops in that I want to get germinated and growing. So I think today's 1st of September, and yeah, we're still growing. So the water line sort of comes up through here, and it comes across here. When we dug the line with a friend's backhoe, there's a giant rock in here, so we kind of had to divert it. It's not as deep as it should be, but that's okay. It's like nearly 3 inches below the surface here. But what happens here is it comes up to this line here, and then I have a split here, a 3-way split, which you have to see here. I've got a line going this way and a line going that way down to my other heads down here. And at each section where the water comes in, I've got these shut-off valves here. There's one there and one here. Hard to tell, I just cut the grass. So I can isolate different zones. So I've got 3 zones here. One at the top has 5 heads. This zone has 5 heads. And the last zone has 3 heads because I need to expand farther down next year. So I'll have another 4 or 5 heads at the far area where you can see the tarp down there. But we'll hop the fence here. And we'll take a look at the sprinkler heads here quickly. So the downfall with the 1-inch pump and the 1-inch line is, like I said, I have to have different zones. I can probably max out 4, 5 heads, maybe 6 if I'm lucky on this setup here. But if I had a 2-inch line coming all the way up to here and section it down, I'd probably be able to get double the heads, so I didn't have to switch every few minutes or every 45 minutes to a different zone. So I could do water 2 areas probably once and then do the last zone. But over here is the sprinkler head. I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, but it's the XL Wobbler Seringer. There you go, Seringer Wobbler heads. They have a whole bunch of, they got about 10 different tips, I think. The kit came with a green tip, which does good spread. And the kit came with the wobbler head here, the hose, the quick connect, the bar, and then it also came with the hose attachment here, which is nice for the quick connect here as well. So we can just pop it in nice and easy and good to go. So it's awesome because if you want to move them around, it's super fast and easy to move them. I don't move them, I just leave them how they are because I don't have time to be changing things around. So we'll come up to here and see how they're working. So what happens here is I've got another shut-off valve here. So once this area is watered, which I do for 45 minutes per section, which I probably should set my timer here so that I don't forget to switch it, because that's what I always do. So 40 minutes, and then yeah, we'll shut it off. And then what happens here, now it comes to another T here, and it comes up to my hoses here. And at the end, actually I'll show you down there because the water's gonna hit the camera, so we don't get wet, even though it would feel nice today because it's nice and warm out again. So here we go. It's a bit of a mess down here. It's a bit of a jungle. Let's take a look here. So I've got it coming off. Yeah, here we go. Sorry about this, guys. It's kind of a mess, like I said. So it comes off the 3/4 inch here down to a 1/2 inch hose connector. I've just got a whole bunch of splits here with 2-way splits with your garden hoses on. And then the garden hoses are split into each section here. So there's a hose going up to there, another hose going up to that fire sprinkler there. And for the other section, I've got at the end coming off as well, I've got the hoses coming up to the other 2 heads there, as you can see. And it works really well. So one thing I would suggest is I bought some expandable hoses, 2 of them, because they were cheaper and I thought it would work really well. But from what I was reading when I bought them, they actually need to have full pressure to actually expand properly and have enough pressure to pop out the other end. So the 2 that I have on the expandable hoses here, I feel like they're not getting enough water through them. I'm not sure if you can tell in the video here, but this one's not wobbling very quickly here. So it's getting less of a water and less spread. Whereas if you look at this one over here, that is not an expandable hose. It's spinning twice as fast and it's shooting out twice as much water, which I think covers more area and waters a lot better. But that is a lesson learned from me. So I'll probably use these expandable hoses for something else next year and put proper hoses in and see if that makes a difference, because I really would like it to have more spread. Because really, these things are supposed to cover 1,900 square feet, which I don't think they do. But when you have the expandable hose on it here, you're lucky if it covers like, it's not even coming 10 feet off the wobbler head, which is pretty sad when you're trying to water a big area. And you want a bit of overlap as well. So that's another tip I would recommend, not doing expandable hoses, is not having expandable hoses for that. Now, like I said, I'll let it go for 45 minutes per section. As you can see, it's doing a pretty good job. Some of the heads seem to water better than others. You can see, I don't know if you can tell farther down. Well, I got 3 heads there, I guess, so it's going to water a lot better than it is with 2 heads here. But I just put some spinach in here this week, so I'm getting that germinated. And try and get more carrots growing. This is the 3rd bed of carrots here. I've almost cropped them out as well. Not as many grew in that one. But I'll show you the end of the line and what it looks like, so you can see how the end looks. So here's the end of the line, just an elbow joint, and I got my clamps on there, and same thing comes out to more things. This time I bought some shut-off valves, so in case I don't want all heads on, I can shut 1 or 2 off. But same thing, here's the hoses coming off to each head. And I'm going to be changing this up to probably changing it up to a longer hose here, because next spring, or hopefully this fall, if I get time, I'm going to dig this up and make more beds, which is going to be quite the task. And oh look, here's Bean. Hi Bean, did you come to say hi? You've been wanting to be on videos lately, haven't you? Yes, you're such a pretty kitty. So yeah, so I'm going to expand the irrigation next year so that I can water this area here as well, and then we'll be laughing. But that's, guys, that's pretty much the walkthrough of the irrigation system. I got my irrigation heads, the wobblers, from Dubois in Quebec. I think they were $50 for each one, which is pretty reasonable. They work well. I'm happy with them, and except for the few things of trying to figure out why some of them don't spit out as much water as some of the other ones do. But other than that, let's go take another quick look up here and see how well it's going. So you can tell here that it's not really watering this one very well because this welder head is weird. We need to figure that out. So let's run through here quickly, get a little nice cool down. And this is another weird thing that I'm finding about this head here is this one's going really well. It's watering that side of the garden really well, but here it's bone dry. Look at that. And right over on the other side here, it's pretty wet. Well, maybe because it's got two, that's right. But you'd think it would have more water down by now. But like I said, it's a learning experience and it does what I need. Technically, you want them close enough that the water overlaps in a few different areas so it really waters well. And that's why I move them around. I moved this one up a little closer to this side so it really waters the carrot beds here so they germinate. But I could probably move it back that way. We'll have further spread around. But yeah, you can tell this one isn't spitting out anything at all. It's really bizarre. But there we go. Anyways, guys, there we have it. That is a complete walk through my irrigation system. It works well for me. If you guys have any questions, I'm not a professional, but I can definitely help you guys figure it out probably on what you need. It's pretty simple. If you've had any plumbing experience, it's super easy. Even if you haven't, buying this poly pipe here, the water line, and connections is really easy. You don't need many tools. You just need really a saw to cut the ends off, and blowtorch to pop the pieces in at the end, screwdriver and clamps, and you're off to watering your garden. And it helps you if you have a pond or a water source. So there we go, guys. I think we'll end it there. Hope you found that helpful. Thanks for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you out there. Happy gardening.